Hello, my name's Nelsonator,
And I'm Parish Torch.
and this is Let's Play Mega Man Battle Network 6, Cybeast Gregar. I start here with Long Blade B because I'm going to need it for a program advance for completely restructuring my folder between this episode and the next one. The B code is a really good code in this game, and I intend to show it off. But what we are showing off today is the Virus Battler minigame. Parish, do you remember doing this way back when?
Yeah, I think I did a little bit of the virus battler or virus collection type minigame stuff in the third game in the series. That's about it.
Yeah, because in the third game it was, hey, you gotta find them, you gotta feed them the bug frags, and then you can go find the upgraded version of it, and like you could build your own sort of battle chips with them. It was a weird little feature that they included in there that mostly served as like a bug frag sink once you got super deep in the game. But in this game, it's a little bit different. In this game, you can have the viruses battle each other like it's Pokemon, except you don't get to control them at all. You just get to watch them fight, and then when you lose, you get to be a little bit sad. So the way that the Virus Battler works in this game, the moment I can find it in here, is that you start a battle, you're able to choose your viruses and set them on the field, and then they run under their own AI. You go through a string of battles, going to be 3 for the first 2, 5 for the second 2, and 10 for the last one. And then once you win the first time, you will get a unique reward. For the first one, it's Air Wheel 1, which, kind of whatever. For the second one, it's an HP plus 50 Navi Customizer part. For the third one, it's Bug Fix Star, which, kind of useful. For the fourth one, it's Folder Pack 2, which honestly is a good Navi Customizer piece if I didn't have other things I wanted to use in all that space. And then the fifth one is Super Vulcan, which I need for the library. So any virus you're looking to choose comes with its HP that's stacked together into your total, and then they have a memory capacity that you get to build up to. So what you're going to see pretty frequently is if I can finish any encounter with some of the biggest ones there, like the Dark Mech or the Earth Dragon, I'm just going to plop those down and throw in a Metar or something with them. But I'm going to try and get a little bit creative to show off some of these guys, so I can show off some of the weird interactions. Like the Haunted Candle here. Just like its regular virus counterpart, it takes no damage from fire. So you can get some easy wins if you can just put it in front and then just take the fire attacks while you have the starfish win the battle in the background. These battles are not terribly difficult. It's a little bit of a puzzle, and once you set your 2 viruses in the proper configuration, you are almost guaranteed to win every time. But, it gets a lot harder the later you get into it. Parish, do you remember any viruses in particular that are sort of the problems?
In terms of this virus battler thing,
Yeah.
a challenge. I can't say I really do. I mean, we've already encountered some Dark Mech, but those are the ones that I can really think of possibly, putting up a hassle.
Yeah.
The shadow ones that only take damage from sword attacks, perhaps.
Yeah, those guys could also be problems too. I don't remember if they show up, but we're gonna see them as they come, so it'll be pretty fun to see when those guys show up, because yeah, the Nightmare viruses do not take damage from anything except swords. The Gregar viruses also keep their characteristic half damage except from breaking, so that's fun too. I also liked how, after that, at the start of this video I said, oh yeah, the reward for the red one is an Air Wheel 1 chip, but then that was a Windcrack chip, which is completely different, so my notes are incorrect here.
Does it differ between the games, maybe?
I wonder, but I'm going to blame GameFAQs for that one, because I referenced it to sort of put my notes together for this, instead of watching my videos back. Also, I like that strategy of putting the corn up in the front and trapping it in place so it fires off more of its corn. I can't believe I got counter hits on both those viruses at the same time.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting series of events there.
Yeah.
I also really like the fact that when you put them out on the battlefield, their HP gets added together, and so it's just one collective pool of health for each side. You don't have to worry about specifically one virus that normally has a much lower HP, getting immediately creamed and then losing half your offensive capability.
Yeah. I also made a mistake there by putting the Scarecrow on the ice panel, so it got frozen immediately. It all worked out in the end, but that was definitely a mistake on my part. So the Starfish is one of the most powerful viruses that you can bring into into battle here. Just because of how frequently it attacks and how much area it covers at a single time. And also it can set up, any other electric viruses that you might be able to put in place there. If only the Eye would cooperate with me, or if the formations were better set up for it. The other virus that can cause a lot of problems in this mode is the Pulse Bulb, because of how much time it spends nearly invulnerable from being inside its hard armored shell. And that's going to be a problem in the 4th round, because there are a lot of Pulse Bulbs there. I am scared of them.
Yeah, I guess that's a whole category that we kind of overlooked, is anything with temporary invincibility.
Yeah, or just the immense defense to sort of start there. For this one, I might choose to run, like, the Armadillo. The Armadillo's a really good one for sort of fighting here, just because it spends a lot of time invulnerable. This strategy was maybe not the best with how slow the Gregar attacks, but, I wanted to show it off. It's such a weird guy. These fights are easy. At least I came out with a win, even if I just took so much damage thanks to the Metar, but that's just kind of how it goes sometimes, right?
Yeah. Although the placement of the virus battler programs is a little interesting in that the third one, with some fairly typical virus encounter difficulty, is, I'm assuming, in the judge tree comp, from the fact they said you're taken if you do bad things.
No, it's not in the judge tree comp. It's in the punishment chair, in the torture chamber. Where
yes.
They strap you into the chair, and then the police officer bots hit you with the taser repeatedly.
Yeah, and that's definitely a place where you want, huge numbers of people intentionally gathering viruses to fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is a minigame for enthusiasts, as it were. Like, the guy who gives you the Virus Battler card is just like, psst, I heard about this weird thing. I'm a virus researcher. Like, my kids that are in my class will get together and do this. And, like, I don't know. It's some hackers wandering around together into their special little spaces, the weird corners they found in the internet, and they're just kind of hanging out and doing stuff together. So, for this battle here, if you're looking to get bug frags quickly, this Virus Battler is probably the one to grind, because you're not going to see the sets I put together here that are the best for it, but you can turn this into a very deterministic thing and just kind of roll over it. The Cat-Tack is incredible here, because anytime an enemy slams into it, they take 50 damage back, and the Armadillos will take 50 damage while dealing 20 to the Cat-Tack. So as long as you set up the second virus in a smart way, you are just about guaranteed to win. Also, behold the power of fire. I really messed that one up.
Oh no.
Yeah, but as you can see, the game doesn't, there's no game over when you mess it up, so you can just sort of start again. Yeah, it should be so obvious, right? You just hit him with fire and it's so good, but the Champy is so unaggressive that it's not particularly great for this. The Heady Virus, I think, is pretty good for this, too, because I think it also has breaking on the head, but I also saw it go through the Armadillo, and I think it might have taken damage as it was doing that, so maybe it was not a good choice for that fight. But yeah, the Earth Dragon here is one of the biggest of the boys. You can only get in the graveyard, and considering it has 200 HP, that's pretty good. But then it also does that, and just kind of rips through the fight. Yeah, the Heat Dragon is extremely powerful, and I can solve a lot of battles by just using it. One of the things I should have tried here... Oh, I guess I am going to try it. I'm feeling dangerous. So the Wind Box, obviously, is like a comedy option for any of these, because it doesn't do anything but be a big pile of HP. But my thought here was, if I can prevent the Corn from ever getting to the front row, it will never attack. But the problem is, they usually get close and do the attack anyway and fly all the way back. So this was a very poor idea. This is...
I did appreciate the attempt, though.
Yeah,
we had lulls.
I'm trying to show off all of the different viruses I can put into play here, and that means I have to try the Wind Box at some point, but this was just not the encounter for it. If I had an encounter with the Haunted Candle virus that, you know, I used earlier on in this video, wind will blow out the flame on the candle there. So I can just kind of, you know, turn those guys off immediately with the Wind Box, but... You know, I had to try it against the Corn. I thought I could style on the Corn, and I got put in my place immediately.
I would be really interested if there was the opposite, one of the fan boxes that pulled enemies to the front line. That could be really useful in conjunction with some of the other viruses.
Yeah, because... Yeah, especially if you got something that attacks up front. Like, the Sortie would love it. But you're just stuck with whatever the first virus of any line is, which makes it a little bit hard to deploy some of these other guys strategically. But yeah, what I'm learning from this, just kind of looking back, is like, I should just use the Earth Dragon more, especially on any of these fields that are just full of grass. Here we go again. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try the stove again. I haven't learned.
I mean, it seems like the dragon is quickly becoming dominant strategy in this meta.
Yeah, well, you know, it only shows up in the graveyard area, so you have to get to the end of the game, and since it is a level 1 virus, it kind of is going to dominate anything else that is on top of it there. That's just what happens when you're a late-game threat, but I'm able to get some good work out of the old stove here, because if it can't move and it's stuck breathing fire at an enemy, that is A-okay. It will solve my fight for me. Why is the Champy 30 megabytes? What? I just noticed that. Wow.
Yeah, I kind of don't agree with some of the costs or the balancing for some of them.
Like, the gunner is 20 megabytes, and I don't think it's that much better than some of the other ones you can choose, right? Like, for 20 megabytes, I can get the Armadillo that's invincible most of the time, and the gunner only has 60 HP. Like, I can get 80 HP out of a Quaker, and it's going to spend a lot of time invulnerable because it's just in the air jumping. There are many confounding decisions that are in Virus Battler here. I'm saying it's not particularly balanced. But at the same time, maybe that's a good thing, because it puts a lot more power in you, the player's hands, to cause problems for people.
Also, I guess the story that you were telling earlier about this being the project of some kids probably makes sense. In lore, that it's not the most well thought out or fully optimized.
Yeah. Well, one of the other questions I'm going to have about it then is like, so is there a cap for virus battles out on the internet, or for the people that walk around with viruses that they spring on you for a fight? Because that's where my follow-up question immediately goes.
You mean like any of the heal nappies?
Yeah.
And like a cap on how strong their viruses that they could have to spring on you would be?
Or like where they get the memory for that from. Like, instead of a folder that's full of chips, do they just have, also, yeah, do they just have some viruses? Also, good job, Quaker, like, jumping around and avoiding the electroshocks while the Cat-Tag did all the work against the plane. Perfect.
I mean, I guess the main story point of this was, we could try sealing the Cybeast inside a Navi, and Navis only have so much space inside them to store things. But Mega Man Special, yada yada, etc. It certainly could be possible that there's enough space inside of regular Navis that they just forego the other features that take up space, like customizing your Navi, improving their damaging output, whatever, inherently making themselves more powerful, and just devoted that memory or processing to storing viruses in
that could be
just
smart.
people. I don't know.
Anyway, I'm experimenting a little bit with this battle here, but I can make myself invulnerable as long as I put myself in the proper position, and those Cat-Tags are close enough together that the Haunted Candle can definitely do some work there, but I think that's another one where the Wind Box could be relatively alright, because they advance so slowly. It's also funny to me. Well, okay, I probably shouldn't have tried the Starfish there, I probably should have tried the Puffy instead, but like, look at how they just do 20 damage anytime they run into something, and the Cat-Tag deals 50 damage back. Like, this ain't even close. It's too easy. Also, behold pain. I hate this. I hate fighting two of them at once when they spend most of their time invincible. Especially when they burst the bubbles, and then they just sort of sit there. This, obviously is not going to end particularly well for me, but I gave it at least a try. At least the Cat-Tag can break through their defenses, but the problem is having them sit still and not cause me problems before they can do that. So, let's take another reset. Let's do the salty run back, and let's see how we do here.
Yeah, I think if the timing was just a little better, there were certainly lots of points where the bubbles, the Starfish reached right as it was closing.
Yeah.
So, if their attack patterns had been just a little bit offset differently, could have come out winning that one. Ended up being pretty close.
Yeah, so one of the problems with this that I'm going to show off here, I've chosen two viruses here that can do some breaking damage, but the problem also is they're not particularly protected during it. Especially the Heady virus, because it has the Aqua Aura that, as you can see there, it took double damage from and it lost it immediately. But at least only one of the pulse bulbs can attack at once, so you have time to handle what's going on.
Right.
Yeah. So...
And like some of the other ones, those two are at least a little bit more mobile around the battlefield.
Yeah.
They don't just in one place. Or, even if it's not in one place, in one line, like the Cat-Tag.
Yep. Yeah, that was also another pretty good strategy there, because they're obviously going to shoot in place and hit the Puffy, and as long as I can get a little bit of value out of the candle, I can definitely turn that fight around.
I like the panel set up right in front of the tank.
Yep, drive it all the way forward to the front. But thankfully, my own Cat-Tag can solve the problem. Although this would be a fun one to try to use a Cat-Tag on. You just immediately drive forward a single square, and then, whoop, you're out of range. It's like they don't want you to cheese this fight with a Cat-Tag. Unfortunately, I'm going to do that regardless.
Yeah. Oof. Unfortunate timing on the counter hit.
Yeah, well, we made it through, and that's what matters the most. As long as I survive the fight, I can handle anything else that's coming. Also, I think this is a duplicate fight. I'm pretty sure they handed out a Cat-Tag and a Pulse Bulb earlier in this virus set.
But those ones didn't have panels.
You know, you might be right there.
That makes this a completely different fight.
Completely different fight. It can eject the Katak so much further into the back. Also, hell of a thing to end on, right? Like, we had the fight against the two of them earlier, and now we're gonna have two of them again. Well, it's time to gamble again with the Armadillo and the Hedier. I hope it enjoys. Like, the panels at least are gonna mess with my Armadillo a little bit, you know? Because he's gonna be pushed back and forth through all this.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, now he's in the back. Now he can't get anywhere. Look at him, like, try to run him over. It just gets stuck. Ugh. Well, at least this guy's happy with me.
The profile picture and the real world art did not match.
No.
Like, one was greenish yellow and the other was just yellow.
Yeah, especially since the last one of the programs in this thing is gold, I don't understand why they went with yellow for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, let's give her her blood money. Thank you for the HP memory. Oh, but here's a call.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, we're bigger than the officials now. We are now big official.
Just by completing all of these random people's requests, our powers are now more than that of an official?
Yeah, man. That's totally how it works.
I mean, it is an official who told us that, so I guess now we can just, roll up to, crime scenes like, hey, you're not allowed in here. Just, I completed all the requests. Let me through.
Yep, all 35 of them. Some kid with time after school, instead of doing his homework, is gonna go around and solve people's problems.
Showed himself, said that I'm even more powerful than he is.
Yeah, that guy practices with Proto Man for like 8 hours every single day on top of all his schoolwork and stuff. You can totally trust what he has to say about this.
I never really thought about it. Like, the series just kind of sets him up as that, like, antagonistic, edgy rival. Like, you're still kind of friends, but at the same time, a lot of the time, you're like, man, why do you have to be such a dick?
Yeah.
But then you hear stories about how he net battles all the time. He's constantly trying to improve his skills because, he and Proto Man want to get stronger, not only for themselves, but also to protect others.
Well, to
and then
impress
Lan
his
and
dad.
Megan just show up, and they don't try nearly as hard at all. Lan is, super lazy, barely pays attention in school. They're just inherently better.
Yup. That's what you get when you're first generation Navi that has, like, the DNA of a person bottled up inside your soul. Isn't it great?
Yeah, just you gotta love the lesson of like, kids, why bother trying? There's someone who's just born better than you. Literally, in this case, he was actually born instead of programmed.
Yup. Yup. Isn't it? It's great. Yeah, what a hell of a lesson to teach kids, huh? I wish I could remember, like, exactly what the text is from Battle Network 3 when they gotta dig up the poop on Proto Man and why he's, like, him and Chod are so strong. And the guy comes back and he's like, yeah, guess what? They just net battle a lot for hours every single day. And Lan's like, damn. I wish I thought of that. I wish you thought of that too, Lan. Alright, so we're gonna try the Honey Bomber here, just because I can put a sortie, like, right in place. And, yep, when the snake arm just jumps through the cannon, it's gonna totally chew through him. It's going to be fine. I'm going to win this fight. Yeah, see? So easy. Yeah, so here's, that the Phantom in the back could be a problem. However, they paired him with a Metar, thus guaranteeing this will not be a problem at all. Come on, Pufferfish, don't get counter hit! I barely survived that fight because it got hit with the counter.
But isn't that part of the strategy, to get hit enough times to be able to shoot multiple times?
Yeah, maybe I should put the Starfish in front of the Pufferfish. That might have changed up the timing, and that might have worked a little bit better. So here's another one that can cause problems. the Dark Mech has, like, anytime something is paralyzed, it can jump in and cause problems like that, and as you can see there, that hurt a lot. But the sensor can also support it there, because if you're paralyzed from any source, the Dark Mech can jump in and hit you with the swords. So any viruses supporting you, if you ever get counter hit, it can cause you problems. I don't remember if they pair a Dark Mech with a big hat, but if you, the player, could do that, it would be so much fun. Also, behold my strategy. I put the fish right in front of the tank and hoped I wouldn't get hit by anything else.
Oof.
I mean,
bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah, at least the starfish was able to lock down everybody else, and god, this is a rough battlefield as well. At least the Heady A isn't going to be affected by the holes that are going to show up, but trying to use the armadillo definitely is going to be a problem here. So why don't we just not try the armadillo at all? I like how I thought about it for a minute, like, yeah, let's put the starfish right up in the front. Ah, wait, that's a dog shit idea. Well...
Hiding in the corner is the best strategy we've got.
Yeah, you know, it just might work. Just might work. Thanks, starfish. Oh look, another fight that a Katak will completely dominate. Let's do it. On one hand, I'm surprised they put the starfish in back there, but look at how quickly that fight just melted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh look, another fight with fire guys. Let's try what I said with the wind box and the water. Yep. I'm sorry, Mr. Candle.
Get dunked on.
Get dunked on. At least I got to, you know, show that off, because I don't think I've used a wind chip across this entire game. Wind box would probably be good for the little Mad Hatter there too, Big Hat, because you can also blow the sunglasses off those guys, and then they can't throw their paralyzing bomb, so they just get to hang out. And yeah, once you get to the undernet, the secondary elements start to do a lot of fun things, and a lot of enemy viruses are weak to them. Like the snake arm guys, I think, are weak to wind as well, but they just don't do enough with it across the course of the game to make it really feel that great, you know? Like, we have the first elemental sort of cycle with fire, wood, water, and electric, and then the second one with cursor, breaking, wind, and sword, and then they don't use that second one all that often, and it's a really missed opportunity, I think.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I didn't even know that you could blow the sunglasses off of the big hats.
Yeah. I don't remember when I learned that, but there was definitely a point I did, and it was, kind of fun to learn that. But one of the other things I usually do, when I usually... Oh yeah, by the way, Casual Blast Man as the last opponent in the Virus Battler.
Nice.
Like, he's been so demoted here, he's so passive and inactive, that we can throw him as the last thing we're going to put in the Virus Battler here, and everything's going to be fine.
Blastman is a virus confirmed.
Yeah, good job, Pufferman. Well, at least if he gets caught in any of the water, he just sort of melts, right? So come on, just keep hitting him.
There we go.
I can't believe I got counter hit yet again. Ugh.
Yeah, I thought he was going to keep hanging out in the middle row and you were just going to be out of luck for so long.
Well, we completed the Virus Battler. This was the last difficult chip I had to obtain, so the rest of them I'm going to grind some viruses, I'm going to come back. We're going to start next episode in front of the standard complete door in the graveyard, and we're going to get right to it, so I hope y'all have a nice day.
See ya!